Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our YouTube channel where we talk about issues, current issues, and issues surrounding our world in general. I was just thinking about Colombia in regards to whatever that's going on, or the issues that's going on with Venezuela. Um, I was recently watching the president of the United States talking about the president of Colombia coming for a visit and, you know, hoping to work together with him. And that's kind of gladdens my heart in a way, That's always something I've always believed. I'm not saying every nation on earth should work with the United States, but if your goal is to create peace and prosperity for your people, what other path do you have? If your goal is to create stability for your nation and for your own people, what other path do you have? You want to go in on the path of coalition with the United States? Is that really what you want? So I think for me that's a really good move. I remember a few weeks or a few months back, the president of the United of Colombia uh, has been very loud and critical of the United States and Trump precisely. But listen, all that little grandstanding don't work. We've seen it. So, having seen what happened to Nicolas Maduro in his own house, in his own home, I mean, I think that what Colombia president is doing is the right move. You know, sometimes are you are on the wrong path with a powerful being, a powerful nation. You little loud and here and there, but at the end of the day, you recognize your place in life. You realize that you are not capable. What is Colombia to the United States? Let's be very factual. You know. So once you understand your position, the best path forward is dialogue. Hey, and even in real life, you challenge somebody that you know for sure is more powerful, stronger than you, and you realize, oh, if this talks continue, I might be on a dangerous path. What do you do? Find a way to create peace. Find a way to work with the president. Sometimes you don't even. There's nothing wrong apologizing. Hey, we were just angry. I was just bitter. I said things that I shouldn't have to say. You know, I think if everybody can just reason on this path, there will be no fighting and killing and none of this stuff. So I think other nations can learn a great lesson from what Colombia is doing is doing or planning to do right now. Yes, sometimes you do not agree with this person, you do not agree with the United States, but you also realize what other path you have. What's what's going to happen if I continue on the path I am currently? And so dialogue, work with the United States, work with if your goal is to create peace for your people, then you truly have to work with the United States, because the moment you decide that you want to create rancouring and this grandstanding stuff, you're on the wrong path. And even without being a physical war with the United States, your nation is bent to suffer. Ask North Korea, you know, ask Iran, ask all these other nations that tends to want to challenge the supremacy of the United States. What happened? How are they struggling? You know, and then compare that in comparison to nations that have found a way, again, not because they agree with everything the United States does, not because they agree with the whole idea of the supremacy or the dominance of the United States, but they figure out a way to work in collaboration to walk around all of that, and think about how were they faring compared to the ones who resist the United States in totality. We have nations like South Korea, Japan, you know, Germany, and other powerful nations that ordinarily we want to resist the United States. But as long as they are working, again, not because they fully agree with everything the United States does, but they figure out a way to walk around issues. So I make some of these videos to really point out what I deeply thought about in some of these issues. When people always want to criticize the United States, oh yeah, the United States will always fight for themselves. As a nation, it's like parents. You always look out for your children first. Any other person's children come second. Yours comes first. And when Trump says American first, America's first. Even the people who disagree with him agree with him indirectly in their private life. They agree with the United States. America first. There is nothing wrong with it. America first does not mean other nations doesn't matter. But it means that I'm going to take care of my own first before any other person. I mean, come on, man. The philosophy of life is very simple. You have to be alive. You have to be safe before you can save others. So I just thought about the whole idea when I heard the president of Colombia was coming, because with the way he was going, he was going to be he was going to be in line for what happened to Maduro. It's pretty simple. So when I heard that he's coming for a visit and hoping that they'll work things out, I am happy, because the last thing I want to see is the people of Colombia suffering, experiencing hardship due to American bombardment or whatever, and most of this problem is not the people. The people of that nation most likely don't even agree with their own leaders. So when people make it like, oh, America hates this, no, it's not the people. It's the government of these nations that tends to want to resist. Think about Nigeria right now. You think the average Nigerian does not support the United States coming in to help? Everyone is happy with the idea. It's always the government full of egotistical, whatever, just being, oh, look, who's sovereignty. You're not sovereign if you cannot provide and support and protect your own people. There is no sovereignty in that. So the U.S. coming in is a good thing. Let nobody fool you with the whole, oh, they're coming to take your resources. How well are your resources helping you right now? I mean, you have the resources right now. How think of Venezuela, the wealthiest oil nation on earth, became the poorest among the poorest nation on earth. The resources is nothing if it's not helping the people. So you're worried, oh, the America is coming to take it, man. That whole idea, that whole scared tactics that people use is becoming too old. It's not even making a needle, and it's not making any movement, because America has its own oil. America has more resources than most of the nations on earth. So don't think it's always about the oil, no. And if you think it's about the oil, then put your ass together. Because the moment you start doing stuff that create attention, the moment you start doing stuff that attracts attention, what happened? You just open the door for the same America that you don't want them to come in. They're going to eventually come in anyway. Well, again, these are my personal rants. These are my personal views and opinions in some of these issues. You can disagree with me, and there is nothing wrong with it. Please put your disagreements and your comments under the comment section, and let's chat. Like I always said, man, nobody knows it all in none of this stuff. I am speaking from a personal understanding of these issues. And if you disagree, feel free to comment. And don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel if you so wishes. And then share this video with some of the folks you might want them to see or hear my opinion. All right. Thank you, guys, and peace.